All right. So I heard a rumor that, and it's just a rumor, I can't confirm or deny this, that Tom Aspinall is banned from UFC 309, apparently the event. I don't know if that's true or not. I highly doubt it. But even if it's a lie, does part of me believe it because of all the media machine we've been seeing through this pay-per-view? And the pushback from the fans is the real highlight. If you ever watch Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez, right? What made that moment so viral was the fighters fighting. But what I think is going to make this pay-per-view one to remember is the pushback of the fans wanting to be heard. And I think it's a good thing. Because in a way, a lot of people are very vocal about the UFC and how it's more of a production than a sport now. And you know what? I can't deny that. I know I was one of the original people who said, let's just let them write off Jon Jones and let it go and let Aspinall fight for the title later. Even though Tom Aspinall does deserve to fight Jon Jones, he has earned that shot to prove that he is better than the current version of Jon Jones. Because, I'm not even a Jon Jones, massive hater. Say what you want about his personal life, but back in the day, he was the guy. Talk about all the dirty drug tests and everything. He was still the guy. He was still the youngest champion ever. And he had a very phenomenal career. But now it's almost like the UFC is trying to hold it all together. And it's almost like they're doing it in vain because the fan base is like, you know what? Come on, man. And you know what? The fans need to keep hearing it. And I would love to see if people kept up, chanting Aspinall throughout, not just the main event, but the entire thing overall. Except for, hold on. Michael Chandler versus Oliveira 2. Be invested in that fight. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Be invested in that one. Okay, you know what? Maybe I want to be fair. The other two fights on the main card that I haven't quite been all in on or haven't done or covered much, right? Even give those guys credence because those fighters who are trying to make a name for themselves shouldn't have to suffer because the fans are pushing back against something that obviously the UFC is creating. I don't like seeing people who are just trying to work hard get caught in the crossfire. I'm just kind of like that, I kind of have like one of those consciousnesses, which I don't even think I pronounced that word right, but you know what I'm saying. So when I see the fans push back, yeah, because this is going to make a viral moment from the fans, because at the end of the day, they do make this sport. If no one attended these things, it would not be able to build itself into what it was today. So the fact that they are pushing this hard back, and I've still yet to catch up on what other YouTubers in this sphere are saying right now, because I just want to make sure it's all my opinion coming out. There's a lot of things I still have to watch after I make this. This is my last video of the day before I watch the pay-per-view. I got some other things I'm going to be working on, but I'm going to be listening to that like it's radio while I work on some stuff. But you catch my drift. The fact of the matter is I think a barrier has also been broken this pay-per-view, and what the UFC has done has cost it in some sort of way. Where, they're going to have this pay-per-view and they're going to have the event. Stipe and Jones are going to fight. They're doing all these interviews with all the trusted journalists, right? But I think the real fans are starting to see through all of it and just be like, okay, we understand that you're putting a filter on this too. And I think the fans do come first. And look, even if they don't make Jones versus Aspinall, I would still love to see in the main event chance of Aspinall. Let's say Jon Jones gets his hand raised. Keep shouting Aspinall on the way out. Shout Aspinall as he goes through the door because the fans collectively are very powerful and the UFC can't ban everybody. That's all I'm saying. So when I see the weigh-ins, good. You know what? Good, because we got to keep the integrity of the UFC's journalism alive. But I've been talking myself around in circles. Integrity always wins. Honesty always wins. And I know that, other sports have done similar things where people are like, what is this? And I don't want to see that happen to the UFC because when I first started watching the sport and I got drug into it, or actually I got enticed to go in on it, it did open up a doorway in my life. It got me to start training BJJ. It started getting me to be excited about something every month, have me very invested. And then years later, I'm actually just putting my voice out there on a small channel for people to, talk. But all that was made possible. That journey was made possible because the UFC felt like such a real sport. It felt like honest. It felt like it wasn't had this giant filter on it, or it wasn't, trying all this stuff like major corporations and brands, twisting it and everything like that. But we're starting to see, like, if we let one of these go, eventually it keeps going down that and it becomes this gigantic commercialized forced happy face. You ever see Ren and Stimpy where, Stimpy puts Ren in that happy, joy thing, and he's forced to smile and just enjoy it. And then when he finally breaks the helmet, he's like Stimpy, you're done, right? I do not want the UFC to force that happy face on us, because when the fans say, hey, we want this, they got to give it to us. Because you guys, the fans, fuel this whole thing. But I've got my sentimental message across. Now, I'm going to be very clear. I don't know if Tom Aspinall is banned from 309. That's just a rumor. But it did get me thinking about this, that just because I had a feeling that could possibly be true, the fans need to make more noise, man. The fans need to push back harder against a lot of this stuff we obviously see where this is going, because we can't let it happen to this sport too. The UFC is a special sport to a lot of us, and we can't just let the bigwigs come in and have it our way when we were the ones that bought the tickets and kept the machine turning. Squeaky wheels get the grease. Peace.